How your business can self-actualize you. Abraham Maslow is a psychologist that actually invented that term self-actualization, which simply means you are a very evolved and actually healthy human being, a mentally healthy human being. And he, by the way, said that only 1 to 2% of the population are really self-actualized human beings. And over time, he also talked about the idea that psychologists are highly overestimating the power of a one-on-one context, just sitting there with your client, just talking things out, just reflecting, just you yourself self-actualizing. And he said we should focus much more on your environment, the environment you're living in, the community you're living in, the business you're working for. So he emphasized a lot the work. And he said that work can really actually be also a healing factor and help you to really grow, because you're probably going to work at least 8 hours a day on your business. And this is the majority of your day where you're spending your energy and your power, and you can use that not just to make money or just to grow a business, but actually to also self-actualize and even in a sense heal and grow yourself. That's what he was talking about. And business is basically an expression of yourself. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. You're running a business on your own, and you can, to a degree, not only decide what you're doing, but also how you're doing it. With whom, what's the context, how you work, how you do things, what's your ideal medium. Those are all things you can decide on. And that's why it can be very powerful. And he also said the more evolved you are, the more your work is an expression of yourself. So in a sense, you assimilate more to your work. And that's a beautiful thing, because what is happening here is that you basically externalize yourself. Like, this is the work you do and you love it, and you can resonate with it because it really, in a sense, is partly yourself. So suddenly it's externalized and you can work on it, you can sweat on it, you can struggle with it. And that's much simpler then to grow yourself than just sitting there and trying to reflect on yourself, like, who am I, what do I want to be, how can I be a better human being. It's much easier to then just work on something, struggle on it, sweat on it. And since it's so similar to who you are, because it's an expression of yourself, it helps you to grow yourself as well, and you gain insights and all those good things. Yeah, that's just as an introduction. Also, I want to read out one quote that Abraham Maslow came up with. And he said, "The only happy people I know are those who are working well at something they consider important. The only way to be an artist is to work, work, work. I stress discipline, labor, and sweat." So we're not talking about being a senseless workaholic, but we're talking about the idea that work can be actually something very powerful and help you to grow as a human being. Now, let's dig a little bit deeper. You maybe already heard of this hierarchy of needs that Abraham Maslow talked about. It's a pyramid, and basically he states that if you come into this world, you start with the basic needs, physical needs, food, water, and everything. That's probably already fine if you're watching this video. And then afterwards, you have a need for safety. You want to have a shelter, a house. You want to feel safe financially, that you can pay rent the next months. So you want to feel safe. And if you feel safe, then you start to think about the community. I want a sense of belonging. Maybe I want a partner. Maybe I want friends. I want to feel like I belong. And then afterwards, you want to also have a certain esteem, self-esteem. You want to feel like you can accomplish something, like you're successful. And then at the end, the self-actualization stage comes around, where you perceive life differently. You, in a sense, also fulfilled your basic needs, so you're not very needy. You can really ask yourself, what do I want? And I'm not doing things for the sake of fulfilling my basic needs. I'm doing things for the sake of, because I think they're important and they're even bigger than myself. I want to help other people. This is the self-actualization stage. Now, and the idea is now that you want to build your business and construct your business in a sense that you can fulfill all those needs, especially the lower needs, like physical safety, belonging, and esteem. And let's go through those. So the physical need is something we don't really need to talk about, but safety need is the very first one. And that's a very basic one, and you can basically just ensure that by letting go of this feeling of anxiety and basically just make enough money. Just make sure that you feel like this is a stable business, I'm doing fine, and things are going well. I don't need to worry about paying rent. I'm not living above my means, and I build a stable business. So that's a very hands-on thing you can do. And now it starts to get interesting when we talk about the belonging needs. Belonging needs are in a sense important that, or basically also means that you don't feel alienated. You don't feel like you're unwelcomed. So if you have employees, you feel like you're actually a team. People respect you. You in a sense belong here. Your clients, in a sense, respect you, and it's not just a rational transaction. In a sense, you really feel like you're lifting up people, you're helping people. There's a beautiful connection that you build. Some people struggle with that who are running their business on their own, and there you really got to also take a big picture on your entire life and ask yourself, how can I really make sure that I have this feeling of belonging met? Do I maybe live with people together? Do I have a partner? Do I maybe have more collaborations with my business with other people in the field? Do I want to, for example, for me, it also means then sometimes work more offline with people, do more coachings offline and not just only online. So basically the question here is really, how can you meet your feeling and your desire for belonging? And then afterwards, the question is also, how can you meet your desire for self-esteem? So before, the belonging need is more about relatedness with others. Esteem is more about competence, also feeling like you have autonomy. You can decide, which you can anyway do as a business owner, but how can you feel competent? How can you feel like, okay, you're being loved by others and you can determine your actions? You have this feeling of self-determination. And that's also an interesting question. Like, how can you build an environment that way? How can you structure your goals, even in the sense that you feel like, hey, I'm accomplishing enough? And here the question is also, when is enough enough? And a lot comes here basically just with working, exposing yourself to the work, struggle, make decisions, because at some point there will be a pathway that you need to choose. Am I going left or right? What do I want? And then here you can, again, if you make the right decisions, feel like, yes, I've done the right decisions, I'm on the right track, I'm putting in the effort, and then you gain this feeling of self-esteem. Now, to give you a little bit of a sneak peek how this would look like, if you really fulfill those basic needs, you basically become a very healthy leader. And a healthy leader is somebody who fulfilled all those lower needs at this point. So a great leader at this stage is basically somebody who is okay with hostility and not always being liked. Because if you have those needs already fulfilled, you're fine. If you're making a decision that is not popular for others, you're okay with that. And you though do this with a feeling of, I know it's the best for everybody. And some people don't appreciate this on the short term, I know, but I'm strong enough to feel this hostility, to feel like I'm not being liked, but I'm okay with that because my basic needs are already met. Being such a self-actualized leader who has fulfilled their basic needs also means that you have no struggle giving compliments to others, to lift other people up, to give them a raise, to give them a higher position, and you're not afraid that they maybe at some point take over your position or anything. You actually are not in this feeling of deficiency, you're fully in this feeling of abundance and beauty, and you enjoy seeing others grow and nurture their talents, and you're not getting jealous about that. Jealousy again means like, oh, I'm not sure whether I'm good enough. What if others are getting better than me? Then I'm insecure. That's a fairly low conscious state. But you want to be happy for others if they grow and you nurture that. You're also generally not paranoid, not suspicious. You're not projecting anything on others. What I said, for example, right now, that you feel insecure if other people are suddenly doing a better job. You're not having all of that. You're seeing things as they are. Because in a sense, you are not suspicious anymore. You're not paranoid in a sense, because you're already fine. You have your basic needs already met. And the core question for you is right now, if you also look at this pyramid of needs up to self-esteem, What do you think is the need that you would like to nurture the most within you? Be honest. And if you ask yourself, how do I figure this out? Just feel into it. Am I feeling anxious because I'm not financially secure? That's safety. Am I feeling lonely? If you feel a lot of this feeling loneliness, probably we can tweak something here, the need for belonging and relatedness. Am I not really trusting in myself? Am I not really trusting in my decisions, in my commitments, in my own skills? Am I thinking that others might doubt me and my skills? That would be self-esteem. And maybe, that's now a difficult question because it's a highly individualized question. Maybe you can though already think about, how can I restructure my business? What kind of environment can I create? What kind of meetings can I set up? What kind of feedback culture can I create? What kind of goal structure can I create? What kind of a new vision for my business can I create that would foster that? What kind of habits? How can I reschedule my day that I feel, for example, more competent or have a greater sense of belonging? That's the core question. Because if you restructure your business in that sense, that where you put yourself out into an environment where you grow, it's like a plant. The plant needs soil, needs sun, needs water, and you need to give that to yourself. And if this plant doesn't have soil, sun, or water, it's not going to grow. It's gonna die. And you're going to make sure that this environment is optimal for you as well. So the bottom line, if I had to summarize it, basically, a business is a great opportunity to grow yourself. And I love that. It's basically like multitasking in the sense you grow financially, you use life as an adventure, but also you grow as a human being at the same time. And that's why I like so much to coach entrepreneurs from a psychological perspective, because we're talking about the business, we're talking about the decisions and how to change things up and how to move on. And basically by that we are growing the business, but we're also learning very much about your inner psychology while doing that, because the business is just like a playground where you can learn. As I said in the beginning, it's an externalization of yourself, and you can work on this, and it's like a mirror. It's showing you what you're lacking. All the insecurities are coming up, all the struggles emotionally, loneliness, not feeling competent, struggling, thinking that you're not good enough, insecurities. Everything comes up if you work properly in your business, and we can work on that and make you grow. And while growing you, we also grow the business, make you also a healthy and self-actualized entrepreneur. That's the idea. Now, if you have any questions, leave a comment below, but what would be actually even better if you just go into the description box below this video, there's a link, get onto a landing page, and there you can sign up for a personal call with me. And there I want to see whether we resonate, whether it would make sense to maybe work together, and then we would hop on a full hour free consultation call where we exactly dive into your life and understand what is the challenge, what would you like to achieve, and also how you can achieve that. So we really come up with a custom strategy, totally for free. And then at the end, we can decide whether we want to implement it together, but there's no strings attached. So make use of this 1 hour. It's going to change your life. It's going to give you such a new perspective on what you need for your business, but also for yourself. Use that opportunity. Business is not just business. 100% of your customers are people. 100% of your employees are people. You are a human being. So if you don't understand people, you don't understand business. So make use of that free call. Again, you just need to click the link below. And I'm looking forward to talking to you soon.